top 5 academy students in Boruto. Now, if you guys don't know, at the end of every really significant arc in Boruto, I'm going to be doing one of these videos. I'm going to be naming off of the 5 strongest academy students or 5 strongest core cast of characters that we know in the actual series of Boruto. Now, to clear this up, I'm not going to be mentioning any people from the other villages such as Kagura or Shizuma, and I'm not going to be mentioning any of the higher level or older ninjas such as Kakashi, Naruto, things like that. This is really only for the people that are in Boruto's circle, so we can kind of keep track of them as they get older, and we can kind of see how this list would progress later on in the actual series. Now, if you guys don't know, I did make a list before, and to run off the list of people that I gave before, number 1 was Mitsuki, of course. Number 2 was Sumire. Number 3 was Iwabe. Number 4 was Boruto, and number 5 was Shikadai. So right now we will be having a totally different revamped list. Let me know who you guys think is the top 5 strongest characters in the comment section below. Number 1 being the strongest. At number 5, the 5th strongest person I have on this list is going to be Sumire. Now, Sumire was a big player in the last arc, not necessarily the Gaiden, but the arc before that, when we really seen Boruto's eye dojutsu, which is supposedly called the Jougan. Now, in that arc, we did see Sumire fight Mitsuki, and we did see her control the Nue, or she had a certain bond with the Nue. That right there really carried over onto this list. From that arc, we really understood that Sumire was holding back a lot of power and a lot of potential, and to this day, I believe that she should still make this list. Now, she did not fight a lot in this arc, and I think it was kind of crazy not to see her fight this arc, mainly because she's such a strong character, and we've seen what she can do before in the past, and I was kind of confused about why they didn't really implement her in this arc, but she is number 5. I will put her at the number 5th spot. And now moving on to number 4, we have Kawaki himself, Iwabe. Iwabe is at the number 4th spot. We did see Iwabe fight a little bit in this arc, but one of the main things that I did find interesting about Iwabe in this arc was obviously Kagura's grandfather, which is Yagura, did kill one of Iwabe's ancestors, and coming into this arc, Iwabe was one of the main focal points about this whole arc. He was the main person to tell Boruto and everybody else not to completely trust everybody in this arc, mainly because it is known as the Bloody Mist Village, or it was known as the Bloody Mist Village. We did see Iwabe have a couple of fight scenes, and when we did see Iwabe fight, he looked like a complete boss. He came in at the correct times. I loved how they implemented Iwabe in this arc. I kind of wish they implemented Sumire a little bit how they implemented Iwabe in this arc, but we all understand that Iwabe is like a guy that takes charge and he really doesn't care, and he seems extremely protective of his friends in the village, mainly Boruto, because Boruto got him back on the right track. Now, one interesting thing about Iwabe that we really didn't see is how Iwabe got out of that blast. If you guys don't know, he stepped in to fight one of the 7 ninja of the mist, and the 7 ninja sword was a sword that had a lot of paper bombs, and the ninja basically blew up all the paper bombs, and somehow Iwabe got out of that. Now, after that episode, I did make a video in my review. I spoke about how we don't know if Iwabe is dead or alive. Hopefully, of course, I want him to be alive, but we absolutely had no idea. A lot of people were telling me in the comment section below that's probably why he's not at the tuning exam, because he died already in that explosion, and I thought that could possibly be true, but it turns out that that was not actually the case. Now, the next episode, we did see Iwabe come out of the woodwork. He was completely fine. I didn't know what was going on, but him getting out of that blast, that was a little impressive. But he has the number 4 spot. My man's Iwabe, my favorite character. I could be a little bit biased with putting him at number 4. Let me know what you guys think about his spot in this list. But at number 3, we have Sarada Uchiha.
You what?
And now a lot of people are not going to understand, or a lot of people aren't going to like this list. And I think this list really goes hand in hand with the 2nd spot, and I won't tell you the 2nd spot yet, but Sarada really had a great fight scene. Probably the best episode in the Boruto series thus far. We've seen a lot of jutsus coming from Sarada. We've seen a lot of things that she could possibly do. We've seen her implement something that is extremely important and extremely popular in the Boruto community, which is the genjutsu. A lot of people do want to see her use a lot more genjutsu. A lot of people said to me that they want her to be the next Itachi and just completely use or be a complete master in genjutsu. And hopefully she will be a master in genjutsu. I know she will have some genjutsu, mainly because her father is skilled in genjutsu. We obviously know because he has a Sharingan. Also, it has been said that Sakura also knows genjutsu, even though we haven't really seen it yet. But getting off of that, it looks like she does have the kind of copying ninjutsu down pat, almost to like a Kakashi level. Obviously, she's not as good as Kakashi was, with it mainly because Kakashi had the Sharingan for such a long time. That's what Kakashi was known for, the copy ninja. So at number 3 we have Sarada, and I think this is a good spot for her. Given my next 2 characters, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Honestly, I feel like some people could possibly think she could be at number 2 or even at number 1 because her fight was so epic and she showed us a lot of jutsus in that genjutsu, man. It was kind of crazy. But let me know what you guys think about Sarada's spot on this list. But at number 2 we have Boruto. Now again, this is a very controversial spot for Boruto. Some people feel like he should be number 1, some people feel like he should be number 3. A lot of people think that he's not necessarily stronger than Sarada. It's become a huge debate in the Boruto community, and I personally feel like Boruto kind of has the edge on Sarada just a little teeny tiny bit. I will probably do a video about Boruto versus Sarada in the future. I may actually do a collab with a fellow YouTuber about this certain subject, but I feel like Boruto has the edge just a tiny teeny bit as of right now. Now if you guys understand, Sarada did have a great fight scene. As I said earlier, she had the best episode of the series. She showed off a lot of jutsus, the genjutsu. It was crazy. She was copying jutsus. But the thing about Boruto is that Boruto fought 2 high level ninjas. Now don't get me wrong, I do understand that Sarada did fight a high level ninja as well, but the thing about Boruto's opponents were clearly stronger than Sarada's opponent. Now obviously Boruto did have a jutsu that was at his disposal that Sarada didn't necessarily have, which was the Kakei level talk no jutsu. Now understand this does help Boruto a lot in terms of the fight with Kagura, but it didn't really help him in the fight with Shizuma. Now Boruto ended up fighting both of them and didn't come away with any major deficits. Now in the fight with Kagura, now Kagura is probably one of the most strongest fighters in the Mist Village, and to see an academy student in Boruto trade blows or trade jutsus with him, it was kind of crazy for me to see. Now Kagura was really the only, and I say the only, appointed swordsman of the Mist. A lot of the others weren't necessarily appointed swordsmen of the Mist, they were just appointed by Shizuma. Now swordsmen of the Mist are supposed to be stronger than Jonin. So if you guys look at it, Boruto was fighting a foe that was stronger than your average Jonin, and Boruto was basically holding his own, which is kind of crazy to even talk about, because when we seen Naruto fight that Chunin in part 1 back in Naruto, we thought that was a crazy feat. Now we see Boruto at an academy student level fighting a warrior that's supposedly stronger than a lot of the Jonin in his village and also holding his own. Now after that fight, we did see Boruto also fight Shizuma. The thing about Boruto is that his taijutsu is so great right now at an academy student level that he actually managed to hurt Shizuma. Now in that actual episode, we did see Boruto hit Shizuma with something crazy, and we actually thought that Shizuma was going to be finished by that. He hit him with a gentle fist, and he wasn't necessarily finished by that, but the thing about this is that he actually managed to hurt Shizuma, and we're not completely sure what Shizuma is, but we do understand that Shizuma is stronger than the person that Sarada was fighting. So the thing about this, the reason why Boruto is at this number 2 spot, is that he fought foes that were stronger than Sarada, and he actually came out, or he actually ended up with more health than Sarada ended up. So that is why Boruto's at number 2, and that is why Sarada's at number 3. Now number 1 is Mitsuki, and we all know it's gonna be Mitsuki. Mitsuki is probably the strongest academy student right now. Now a lot of people might argue that Boruto or Sarada deserve this number 1 spot, mainly because Mitsuki wasn't necessarily up to par. He didn't really perform like a lot of people thought he was gonna perform versus the fight with Shizuma. But the thing about this is that it was just not the fight for Mitsuki. Now if you guys don't know, you can be stronger than someone, but you can not be able to beat them in a certain fight, if that makes sense. I know that probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but there is just a person that is just a wrong matchup for certain people. I think Shizuma was just a wrong matchup for Mitsuki. Mitsuki also said that in that certain episode that none of his juices were working against Shizuma. That's mainly because Mitsuki had such a low amount of chakra to work with, and he really couldn't do anything against that. Now again, Boruto completely handled the situation perfectly. The reason why he handled the situation perfectly is because he has an excess amount of chakra, because he's from the Uzumaki clan. So because of that, Boruto would have a better chance fighting Shizuma than Mitsuki would. But here's the thing, I feel like if Mitsuki were to fight Sarada, or if Mitsuki were to fight Boruto, Mitsuki would definitely win those fights hands down. I feel like Mitsuki is the strongest academy student ever since Itachi, and before that obviously Kakashi. So I think Mitsuki is probably going to hold this number 1 spot for a long time, until we do see Boruto or Sarada or anybody else or any of the academy students really step up in a certain fight or a certain arc and really take his spot. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. As I said, give me your top 5 list. I like to see that in the comment section below. I like to see what you guys think about my list. But as I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Make sure you guys comment in the first 15 minutes. Be featured in my next Boruto video. But it's been your boy Barbie, and we out.
For my city, I'm the youngest nigga reppin'. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. I'm a first.